I know I'm getting a lot of comments in the comment section about what is the 12-minute limit that I talk about. In some of my other videos, I talk about how at 12 minutes, the camera's going to stop recording. Well, that's one of the limitations of right now, at least the 60D and the T2i. I believe with the recent release of the Canon 5D Mark III, they bumped that up to like a half an hour. But the bottom line is there's a limit to how long the camera's going to record continuously before it stops, and you have to hit the record button again. And so what's going on here? Well, there's a lot of debates as to what's really going on in terms of everything from it being a tax issue, they'd have to price the camera differently, to the technology that runs in the camera. It doesn't matter what the answer is, what the real answer is, at least for this. What matters is that it will stop at this limit. And a lot of people ask me, why don't I use the Magic Lantern software that you can put on the camera? And really, I'm just dealing with the cameras the way that you get them out of the box, the way most people have them. I think that's awesome software, but just for these videos, it's easier to just keep it simple and do reviews and talk about how everyone else receives these cameras. So I think Magic Lantern is really cool, and if it's something you want to try, it's not necessarily risky, but there is some form of risk that you take when you put it on, go ahead. But it does a lot of cool things for your camera and helps you defeat a lot of the things that are more limiting about these cameras. Anyway, so the 12-minute limit is basically, if you're shooting 1080p video, you're going to get about 12 minutes. It's going to vary. Could be a little less than 12, could be a little bit more than 12. The bottom line is, it's when your camera gets to 4 gigabytes. So when your SD card fills up to 4 gigabytes, whether you're shooting 1080 or 720, if you're shooting 720, there's going to be a smaller file size, so you can go a little longer. If you're shooting standard definition, you can go even longer than that, maybe up to half an hour. But the times will vary, but the point is when it gets to 4 gigabytes on your camera's card, it's going to stop. The recording is going to stop. And if you're recording something like long form interviews, or you're recording someone talking on stage and it's an hour-long talk, this could be a problem because you're going to have to hit the record button again to get the video to start rolling. So you're going to miss a little piece of the video. As long as it takes you to notice that it stopped recording, you have to pay close attention to the times, and then as long as it takes you to hit the button again and get things rolling. So that is one limitation of these cameras. If you're considering these cameras or buying one of these cameras and you haven't heard of that, that is one possibility to think about. Maybe you shoot long form things and you need a more standard, typical type of video camera that can run at a really long length, almost as long as you can put media into it. Another way to get around it is to use 2 cameras. I'm filming here on the Canon 60D, and you can see I have a Canon T2i. So with these type of productions, it really helps to have a second camera on hand. That way you could roll both cameras at slightly different times, and when one card fills up and stops recording, the other one's still recording, so you can cut to that in your post-production, in your editing, and people won't know that one camera stopped and that you had to restart it. So that is another way. But again, now we're talking about something more expensive. We're talking about getting the 2 cameras. So there are limitations to these cameras. Ask your questions below in the comments, and we'll clear up any more questions you might have. Go to thepodcasterstudio.com to see more videos like these, and I'll see you next time.